The Final Four that everybody predicted. Every analyst on ESPN and Fox, on TYT Sports, every analyst across the globe had Oregon, Gonzaga, South Carolina, and North Carolina. North Carolina is the only one that people had. The only one.
Well, a lot of people probably did have it, and then when they were coming up against Kentucky, they thought it was going to be a tough test, and what happened is it eventually gave us a phenomenal game of basketball and one of the most phenomenal finishes I think I've seen. Just clutch gene. You want to see clutch gene, Skip Bayless? Go and watch that.
Yeah, but see, if it's Skip Bayless, he'd be like, Luke May, decent, not gonna make it.
Malik Monk, all right.
Malik Monk hit two shots that I didn't know could go in, especially one where he was double covered to tie the game.
Yep.
Because you watch that shot and you're like, no coach is happy with that.
No.
Like Cal is sitting on the sideline going like, oh Jesus, how am I supposed to explain this? Favorite part about Malik Monk this weekend, or at least tied to Malik Monk, was Devin Booker scored 70 points and Tex Calipari found this through Instagram saying, man, imagine if you let me shoot like Malik. In college, back in college.
That's funny.
It was a hell of a game. Francis, the two reactions. So we're gonna skip to elements number 4 and number 5. You have the positive end with, I mean, how can you not love Roy Williams in the locker room afterwards?
Still in the show.
Dancing is good too, guys. You don't have to.
Oh man, nothing better than that. I like that's right up there with Bayline from Michigan coming in with the water gun.
I mean, that's what it's
creative.
all about, man. It's like you won't see Popovich doing that.
No, but now I want to.
Now you want to, but it's just that's the passion and the camaraderie that you see in college basketball, and that's why it reigns superior for me. Just this tournament itself wasn't the best in terms of upsets up until now. But at this point, it gave us, you would consider them upsets when you look at who you would have had for your Final Four, but a lot of these teams really fought for those results, man, and fought for those victories, and I love seeing videos like that because you could tell that going up against a team like Kentucky, they're expected to, even if they're not seeded higher than you, they're expected to come through and push forward, and Carolina have been kind of on the cusp of getting back to the final and getting their name back on top.
Look what I mean, it's crazy. Like, there's so much changeover, right? So it's when we say like North Carolina's in the cut, it's really mostly Roy Williams with maybe 1 or 2 or 3 other guys that were there last year because they got their hearts like literally ripped out when Chris Jenkins hits the 3 to win for Villanova. Yeah. But like we always say, like it's different in the NBA level because a lot of times when they say we're going to get back there, it's at least the same players. Yeah. Now you have whole different players, and Roy Williams has been there time and time again, has won time and time again. Obviously, he stands out as one of the best college coaches ever, and he's also got North Carolina's program to recruit and back him, so he's gonna constantly be there. What I wanna change focus to, because that game was fantastic, don't get me wrong, is the fact that USC, South Carolina, has never been to the Final Four. Frank Martin is easily one of the best stories of the entire tournament. For all the sappy, emotional people out there, this is a guy who was close like 7 years ago at Kansas State, but before he was a coach, before anything else, he was like the gym teacher.
Yeah.
It's those kind of stories. He's like an actual underdog that's leading the team, and the team's bought into it. So South Carolina being there is great, and that's why I made the joke on Twitter saying, if you don't go to UNC or Kentucky, or you don't have a lot of money on the game itself or on them winning the tournament, the only team left to root for is South Carolina. Yeah. You should want them to win. And then additionally, in the first ever tournament ever, Oregon won it. Wow. And then they haven't been back since then. It's been 78 years. Wow. So what I used to think going into today was, man, I thought I would rather see that UNC Kansas matchup, or I'd want to see I guess Gonzaga versus Duke or Villanova, and then you realize we've all seen those games. We've seen it time and time again. So why not an Oregon, South Carolina final. Although I think it's probably more likely that UNC comes through because they've, what's the word for it? Resilience is the positive word, and being bailed out by the refs is the other way. But they hang around. They're still there. They make the right turnovers at the right times. Joel Berry, all these guys are putting together a good run, and look who they've had to go through, Francis. UCLA is not a joke of a team, obviously, and Kentucky easily was one of the best teams in the tournament. So I was making the argument at one point that I thought UCLA, Kentucky, and UNC all playing in the same bottom part of the bracket. All of them arguably could have been 1 seeds in this tournament. Yet they all got thrown together. Yeah, let's just throw the blue bloods together, see what happens. You know, making a party.
So
Gonzaga deserves some credit too. They've just been knocking on the door for years.
When's the games taking place?
Saturday.
This Saturday.
Do you happen Sunday? Opening day for baseball. You know, you excited? You ready?
So wait,
got your jersey ready?
So the Final Four takes place on Saturday,
and then the final Monday.
The final on Monday. Nothing like a Monday final.
They've been doing that for years, and I don't necessarily understand why. It's not like football's there.
Why not have it on like Thursday and then have the final Saturday or Sunday?
Your class. Don't forget they have to get to class.
Monday.
I know. Luke May on Tuesday. Luke May showed up to class, the guy who hit the game winner for UNC, at 8:03 a.m. and everyone's just like clapping for him. And I feel like the teacher should have been like, "Dude, go home. You need to be rested."
You got an A.
I'm
sure you probably already did.
You get an A.
Yeah.
Lastly, I can't show the positive without, I guess, showing both sides of it, because there were some people who were saying Darren Fox and Malik Monk, they're one and done, they're freshmen, they're going to go to the NBA, they're both going to be top 8 picks, they don't care. I don't know, man. Locker room video footage courtesy of House of Highlights says otherwise.
In the locker room, I look like guys don't care. I love my brothers, man. The shot just playing back and forth in my head. It's gonna be difficult to get over, but I know I got to.
You're up there, and you're gonna sign like a $5 million contract. Luke May ain't signed no contract.
Wipe those tears with 20s, man.
Right, 20s, hundreds. You're gonna get a shoe deal. Your dad's not LeVar Ball. You have so many things to be happy about.
That's so true. Yeah, I couldn't get over the end of that game. I really just couldn't. I like when commentators add to how emphatic it is. All you really need to do at that moment is just yell. You don't really have to say anything. You just go, oh, ah. Just shout a vowel.
So before we get out of this one, speaking of commentators, my favorite time of year is coming, besides the fact of baseball opening day, the Final Four, NBA playoffs. Equally, because I am so white, the Masters is coming up. It's next week. And the tradition, unlike any other segment, what they do on the Dan Patrick Show is actually one of my favorite things ever. They have people call up and do their best Jim Nance impressions. And I gotta find you the one I heard last year, but it was so perfect. It's like a parody. It sounds sarcastic, but it's something that Jim Nance would say. And Jim Nance was talking during the college basketball tournament for the CBS broadcasting game, and all I can think is, I wonder if he's gonna slip it in. just slip in the Final Four, a tradition unlike any other. They cut down the nets, they slip their hands through championship jackets.
You know me, I'm right there with whiteness.
I love note. Hold on, and I'll pull it up. I know. And then we gotta go. Before people said they like our tangents, so guess what? You get effing tangents now. I gotta find it for you. My friend texted me saying this weekend somebody hit it 410 and it wasn't. Rory drives 410 this week, which is amazing. Dustin Johnson and John Ram both top it today with 425.
Was it a downhill
cart path? A little bit of cart path, but still.
Jesus Christ.
That's not golf. You're not playing golf. You're playing a different sport.
That's bananas. They should be out there on the Vegas long drive. I love watching that as well.
The Vegas long drive is great.
Great fun.
Very
All
good.
right.
That's it. Comment below, like, favorite, subscribe. You know, wrap it up. Wrap it up. You wrap it up.